So I will start. My name is Mojo. A long history with liberal arts education. I went to the Evergreen State College for my undergraduate. Um, and Evergreen is a very liberal arts school. It's in Olympia, Washington. And Evergreen, for example, doesn't have letter grades or GPA. So all students do written evaluations for every course. The students and the faculty do written evaluations. So the transcript is like this thick sheaf of narrative explanations about what happened in every course and how the student did and what they did. It's also a school that's very student-centered and self-directed. So students more or less custom design their own programs. Evergreen doesn't really offer majors, but the students are building their program to kind of custom build a major. So there's a lot of, it's quite loose and laissez-faire in terms of how students go through their program. At the time when I graduated from Evergreen, this isn't the case anymore, but when I graduated from Evergreen, there were no math or science requirements for an undergraduate degree. So I managed to get a Bachelor of Arts, without doing any science or any math throughout my program. Evergreen changed their program, so they do require math and science now. But that meant that when I graduated with a bachelor's degree, I really didn't have anything. I didn't have a major or a minor. I didn't have any explicitly marketable skills. What I really focused on there was community radio. The Evergreen has a radio station, so I worked in radio both academically and doing internships at the radio station. I was on the air for a couple of years as a DJ, and I was the technical director for the radio station. So I was responsible for equipment maintenance and training volunteers and providing technical support for people who were learning how to be on the radio and learning how to do audio engineering and producing things to be on the air. And I also did a lot of other things. I did a course in, I focused on film studies, critical theory, Native American studies, African dance, animation, experimental stop motion animation. So I came out with a lot of different types of experience, but it was difficult to articulate specifically what my skills were, what university prepared me for. So I've had a diverse kind of career as I've tried a lot of different things. I studied traditional Chinese medicine and massage therapy. I had a clinic, a Chinese medicine clinic for a couple of years where I was seeing clients, doing consultations around nutrition and herbal medicine. I had some technology skills, so I worked in some different types of technology roles. I did work at another radio station, so I was able to apply my skills in radio. And for several years, I worked in natural health education, where I applied online education. So I applied my experience with herbal medicine and Chinese medicine and my experience with multimedia production with film studies and radio that I had at university, and worked for a company that produced courses and distributed them online. And that was a pretty exciting job that I worked for 6 years. And then the company came on financial hard times and I was downsized. So I was laid off from that job. And that was when I decided to come to DRBU, because I wanted a break from my career. I'd been studying Buddhism for over 10 years at that point. And I wanted to go deeper into my education with Buddhism. So I was eager to come to DRBU and be in a residential program in a monastic setting, got my master's degree. And since graduating from DRBU, I spent another couple of years deciding what I wanted to do next. I taught for 2 years at the boys' school, the high school that's there at CTDB. I taught religion and comparative religion and ethics, philosophy courses at the high school. And I decided I really wanted to be working with people one-on-one. So I decided to pursue a second master's degree. I'm in my third year of a 3-year master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. So I'm heading towards a license to become a licensed mental health therapist. But that was a big commitment because it's a 3-year master's program. Unlike DRBU, I had to take out significant loans, which was a big commitment. And even after graduation, there's several years of clinical supervision before I'm fully licensed. So that's a 6 or 7-year process. And that took a big leap of faith for me to take on that debt and start that big program. But at this stage in my life, I'm in my early 40s. I feel like I'm ready for a more stable career. And I really wanted to draw on my experience with philosophy and spirituality and mindfulness meditation techniques and apply that in a way that is helping people heal. You know, one of the things that really, I'd studied Buddhism philosophically for many years, but one of the things that really struck me when I was at DRBU was that in the Pali courses, was really realizing that Gautama Buddha in his life really, you know, was a healer in many ways, more than he was a philosopher. And the philosophy of Buddhism was really built on top of how Buddha lived his life. And how he lived his life was, you know, hanging out in parks and giving people advice. People would come to him, recognize that he was wise and caring and compassionate, and they'd say, I'm having this problem, I'm having this business problem, or this problem in my relationship. How should I live? What should I do? And he would give them very specific advices that were personal to them. And a light bulb kind of went off on my head that was how I wanted to live my life, was connecting with people in their suffering and helping them find solutions to their suffering. And so that's how I decided to become a therapist. And that's where I am now. I'm currently seeing clients. I'm under supervision, but I'm seeing clients, mental health clients, mostly working with teenagers. And also I work for DRBU in the Academic Resource Center as a writing tutor, and helping the university in other ways as needed. So that's my life story. Now you know everything about me.